just waiting for the notification.
And we're waiting, and we're waiting.
All right, there we go. We are live. Yay! Hello, everybody. Hi. We are back with AGP. Gets to introduce you guys to some creators. And I have two amazing men with me. The first being not only a really good friend, I've known this man since 2012. Ugh, it's been a long time. But he's also been he's been absolutely amazing. He has shown his support to AGP. He's been a sponsor. If it wasn't for this man, we wouldn't have the StreamYard to use. We wouldn't have the video editing software. So we thank him so much. Mr. Rodney Fyke! Yay! And then, and not to downplay, but the man himself, he's one man. Only one. He's an A-man. Mr. Eamon Hill.
Hey guys.
You know that's like the new running gag of everything. You're the A man of everything.
So that should be our new thing. Instead of risking saying your name wrong, the next time I see you, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, it works.
This should be your profile picture right here.
It'll be our thing.
I'll do that for the next banner.
There you go.
You get this, and Ronnie gives everybody else a squirrel.
Yeah.
So before we get started, because you guys have some big news that's going to be happening tomorrow, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Stressing, but as to be expected.
I understand.
When you're popping your Kickstarter cherry, it's a little stressful.
There's some.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, Rodney. Having been there before, this next 8 hours after you start it is going to be the most annoying, and then after that, you're just going to be like, "Oh, I get it now. It's fine." Because when we launched for Arcana, I was just we were at Cincy Expo, and I was just sitting at the table sweating bullets and checking my phone every 5 minutes. And finally, Lish was like, "You got to stop. Enjoy being here and drawing for people, and don't focus on what's going on. We'll check it at the end of the night."
But all you can do is focus on it.
Yeah,
all you can do is
go get some Coney something.
Yeah, right.
Everybody I have ever talked to who has ever had a Kickstarter goes, it's so draining. It just takes over your life. You're constantly checking on it. You're constantly promoting it, trying to get it out there. So yeah, I'm totally getting that. Hey, I got to do something I have been dying to do all summer. I went to the pool.
Oh
wow,
nice.
It was so nice. I looked out the window. It was 10 o'clock. Nobody's in the pool.
Yeah. It's like Adult Swim all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
as a child, I hated, but as an adult, I am 100% for.
Well, in today's society with everything that's going on, I'm not going to the pool when there's 30, 40 people in there. No. I don't want to be in there when there's one person in there. Give me the pool. I'll take it. It's mine.
Honestly, and that's sort of how I've been all the time though, which I think is funny because I'm always like, oh, I get to hang out by myself. Cool. I'll just draw. We're good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's so nice and so relaxing. I absolutely love it. So of course, hey Cassie! Everybody say hi to Cassie.
Hi Cassie.
She's doing some amazing stuff, and she's going to be working with Rodney on some things, so I'm excited. Yay!
Sweet.
So as we said, you guys have a Kickstarter which launches tomorrow, the 21st of July.
That is correct.
Yeah, we do.
And say the name.
Roadkill Rampage.
RKR! Hashtag it! RKR! I'm getting that to be a thing. That's going to be a thing. I sure will.
I love it.
So, of course, in case somebody hasn't been watching, because we've been talking about this now for a while. We've done a little bit of talking on that already on AGP. We've been talking about it on social media during the Thursday night throwdowns and the Friday night draws. We have been bringing it up, but in case this is their first time watching, either one of you, who wants to take the hilt, and tell us a little bit about what RKR is.
I mean, Rodney, it's your story, buddy.
Okay.
You want to give us the elevator pitch?
All shucks. Okay. Well, for the uninitiated, Roadkill Rampage is the story of a young couple, Ace and Tess, and on a nice sunny day, they decide to take a trip out into the country. And while they're out on the road, Ace decides that he wants to play a game of chicken with the local wildlife. So in doing so, Tess becomes horrified because she hadn't seen this side of him. So she does everything she can in her power to try to stop him. And that doesn't work. Things go sideways. And when that happens, the animals come back at a point and exact their own brand of revenge. So you get to see a lot of suspense, built up emotion, confrontation, and then ultimately satisfaction and justice. It's very gritty. I was influenced by a lot of the old Grindhouse movies and old classic horror movies when Eamon and I started working on it. We talked about it before he laid pencil to pen paper, and we both realized that we just kind of vibed off of the same things, the Alfred Hitchcock approach of less is more, because there's a pretty graphic scene in there, and that I wanted to tell it a certain way, but Eamon was concerned about exactly how we were going to tell it, and that's how we realized that we were both Hitchcock fans. Because my response to him was, well, kind of like Hitchcock does with less is more, and he's like, perfect. So from that point on, don't you agree? From that point on, it's kind of been,
absolutely.
We've kind of been just pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, I think we had to figure out sort of our shared visual and storytelling language in those first times, because we'd hung out and been buddies for a minute before we even tackled this, and it's always tough to be like, okay, I want to get into a collaborative project with a friend, even if you're like, I love what they do. It's still, if you don't share that same language, then it's just roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And thankfully, I mean, Rodney was like, how would you like to draw a horror suspense book with a muscle car and some, animal revenge? And I was like, yeah, that's absolutely. We just started talking about all the stuff we like in horror and how to sort of best represent all of the characters, all of the moments, and all the beats in this story through that. And so I do think, I mean, there's some pretty heavy and intense imagery in the book, but it's not over the top. I mean, as far as it's not constant inundation with gore, because that just takes your audience out of it, and it removes the shock when those moments do happen. It's just less impactful.
There's only one Quint moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Which, of course, to explain to everybody, Rodney, this is a passion project of yours, because you've always pretty much done kid-friendly, all ages type comics, from Pitter Patter to your most popular series, Peanut Pudding and Jelly.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do more adult-themed stuff, but my art style lends itself better to the cartoonier stuff. So I've had the story in the back of my head for a few years, and I actually wrote it down, lost it, couldn't find it, forgot about it for about a year or so, because another friend of mine, Tim Fuller, was supposed to do the artwork on it. And when I reapproached the idea, I was like, I talked about it with a couple of people, and we're like, I love Tim's stuff. You know, he's a good friend of mine. But his stuff is too cartoony. You know, this needs to be a more serious thing. And at that point in time, Eamon and I were just getting to know each other. So I kind of filed away in the back of my mind, you know, his artwork's kind of cool. And then I pulled it up and I was looking at it and I was like, So I approached Tina about it. I was like, you know, what do you think about approaching Eamon to do Roadkill Rampage? And she's like, well, do you think he'd be interested? I was like, well, there's only one way to find out. So I approached him at one of our Cincinnati comic creators meetups and we talked about it and he was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look, right there is actually some of the amazing artwork. See, here's the thing. You see, you didn't realize you needed a man to do the artwork.
What?
Thank you. I'm here all week. Woo! This is
Try the deal.
But it's amazing. The fact, and I want to touch on something that you said, Eamon, was the fact that you talked about how you and Rodney are really well with collaborating, and it really shows that Rodney could tell you what he's looking for, and you instantly know what it is, and you bring it to life right there. Squirrel, by the way, on the page. Yeah, I got a squirrel, guys.
There you go.
Boom.
Well, you know, the good thing too is I thumbnailed out the first issue, and when I gave it to Eamon, I said, "Look, you know, this is just a guide. It's not a roadmap. Because you're the artist, I want you to add your flavor to it as well. But there are a few faces where I want it to look a certain way." And you know, to his credit, he's like, "Dude, I totally respect that. I'm fine with that."
Oh yeah.
And there are some things that he changed that I think are just brilliant, because initially the character concepts that I gave him, Tess was supposed to be a brunette. No big deal. When I get stuff from him, she's blonde. And I'm like, I didn't say anything to him at the time. I don't even know if I've said anything to you since.
I don't think we've ever talked about that.
And it's just like, I was like, you know what? This works because you've got the blonde. The blonde is the white, and the white represents the purity and the innocence. And Ace is the mop top with the black hair, and he represents the evil and the bad. So it's kind of symbolic. And when when the issue escalates, it's black versus white, and so it works that way. Symbolic.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of the stuff that I was playing around with when we were talking about Ace was dropping him into shadow whenever I could.
Yeah.
And part of that was like making sure that he had like that. I mean, and honestly, he's based off of, and my older sister will probably give me trouble for this, but he's based off of this dude that used to date my older sister when I was in like junior high. And he always he would be sitting on the porch and he smelled like cigarettes and he had long greasy hair. And it was just like, I was like, who is this freaking jerk? Like, and so as soon as Rodney was describing him, in my head was just this picture. And I was like, I know exactly who this guy is. And so visually opposite from that, since he is in the black leather, the black t-shirt, the black jeans, I wanted Tess to be, she's got the baseball shirt on. So it's like a little bit like originally I think we had talked about a striped shirt, but there was just something about that two-tone baseball shirt that like screams naivete or innocence, or it's because everyone at some point has worn that. Yeah.
Kind of like that tomboyish girl next door that
Yeah.
Exactly. The last person that you would ever want, and not that you would want anyone in this situation anyway, but like instead of having just this bombshell, like, I don't know, like cheesecake sex pot of a character. And Rodney mentions that she's playing at this life. She's playing at being grown up to this whole point. And so I really wanted a lot of that sort of tomboyish childlike quality without being like, oh, she's a child, which would be
Right.
horrifying
Right.
and creepy.
You pretty much made her what is known in the horror genre as the final girl.
Yeah, exactly.
She's definitely final girl. Because, you know, the real sexy, sleek, blonde, rich, my nails and everything, that girl's dead.
Yeah, she does not make it.
No,
It's collected
everybody
too.
wants her to die. So
Mhm.
that's her? Yeah, she dead. She dead. Kill her when she died. Let's get on with it, you know. It's like you know, it just happens to be the horror trope. But it still plays very well in this comic. Especially since you do just have these two main characters, and even though they're together, you can definitely see their differences. But you also kind of know why they're together at the same time. But you can also see how she's going to grow away, because she's just like, are you serious? But your talents aren't just the people. The backgrounds are amazing as well.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, of course. That's not it. Hey.
Yeah, that one's the night sky.
Let's try that. Let that was amazing. How did you ever do that? How did you ever draw that?
That's a lot of lines in one spot.
Yeah, it's all cross hatching.
A lot of spotting of the black there.
Let's see if we can get. Let's see if we can get that fixed. In the meantime, though, but you do have. I'll bring it back in just a second.
Hey, you're
But no, you have, and the scene that we're bringing up is it's right outside of a base shop, a base shop. It's a base shop. English, my new language. Yeah. It's right outside of a bait shop. And just looking at the details, because there's this amazing little detail right outside the bait shop, which you do bring it into a bigger screen in the corner, but it's absolutely amazing. Okay, now, you better do this right, you stupid machine, you. This one.
There we go.
There we go. Right outside the bait shop. And the best part is it's even though you've enhanced it, it's right there. But even though this says anywhere in the USA, this really gives me that Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of that in my mind when I was laying out like the last place that I would stop on a road trip. And it seems, I mean, like when we get inside, it's pretty innocuous, you know. It's just an old guy running a bait shop and gas station. But from the outside, I definitely wanted that feel of like it's peaceful, but if you get in there and there's a bunch of rotting meat in the deli case, you should leave and not go.
I also love, one of my favorite things about it is the Lucky Charm on the top. Like, there's that sense of false security we all want in our oh, look, it's got a
friendly.
thing. It's friendly. Just keep going.
I'll drop a little Easter egg in there for you. If you, the shot of the interior of the shop, if you zoom in on the old man at the counter, on his forearm, he has a tattoo that says it's TCB. Anybody who knows anything about Elvis knows that him and all of his crew had TCB tattoos on their forearms, which stood for taking care of business, which meant that they were all part of a crew and they all got each other's backs. So not just everybody has a TCB tattoo. So a little bit of backstory laced in there for kind of get you wondering if there's more to that character that, you know, that we might see at some point down the road.
Hey,
he's harboring Elvis.
Could be. He could be part of Elvis's crew.
Lets you know that he can take care of business if he has to.
Wait, the raccoon in that scene, he's Elvis, right?
I'm not going to give it away.
You have to read it. You have to read it to find out. We're all about the crazy M. Night Shyamalan animal twist.
Right.
So
he's got rhinestones under all that fur.
Yeah.
Now, there is one piece that is just absolutely amazing. I've mentioned this before. Why does it keep doing that? It keeps ruining the thing. No.
What have you done?
I broke it. My bad. You'll get over it.
Man.
Aw.
But there is one piece that is absolutely fantastic. I've already mentioned this to Rodney. I have to mention this to you as well because it is hands down one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my entire life. As soon as it will. Can I please have the picture? You goofy thing. How do I put this? When I see this, it reminds me so much of the movie posters from things like Psycho or very Hitchcocky.
Christine.
And oh yes. And I think it is the greatest thing the world has ever seen. That right there. I don't know what you plan on doing with that. And I say leave the creases in it as well. It just adds to it. That should be a poster. That looks like a movie poster.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, that was one of the things that we had talked about when I was pitching concepts for the cover to Rodney. And I had another one that was lost to an unfortunate data incident. But I was like, I really want this to read like a Grindhouse poster. I want it to read like, any of those, like, we were on a picnic and this motorcycle gang came and terrorized us, or like, you thought you could outrun the Dodge Charger, but it's gonna follow you throughout your entire day. Like it's one of those like road terror Grindhouse concepts.
Yes.
And I really wanted it to look like that. The original one that I had pitched was far too out there as far as like it really leaned into like the color principles. There's a lot of like orange and beige and blue, and it just was not gonna pan out right. So we ended up doing this one, but
it was cool, but this one was over the top.
Yeah, this one as soon as we had it,
and then we had the image, and then we gave it. Dave took it, our letterer and graphic designer, and he had it for a couple of days or whatever, and he sends us this image, and Tina goes, "Have you seen this?" And I'm like, "Seen what?" And she showed it to me, and I'm like, "Oh, I can't say what I said when I saw it." I'm like, "Holy crap, that's amazing." I said, "That looks like something." I said, when you go to the movies and you're walking down the aisle, you've got your popcorn and your soda, and you're heading into the theater, and there's all those posters lining the walls of upcoming movies. I said, that's what that looks like. And Dave added that fold in there, and he's added so much to the project. He's an amazing graphic designer, and just he's an invaluable part of the team.
Yeah, Dave kills it regularly.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Dave, that is killer. That should be a poster, and I want one on my damn wall.
Me too.
Yeah. Let's make that happen.
What would be really cool is if you could make it happen, since you have this Kickstarter, it could be an incentive.
Well, and it is. So there you go.
Well,
and I just sent over a new piece of art to Tina and Rodney as well for the Kickstarter.
Ooh.
Yeah. The postcard art.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that was another pleasant surprise, because Eamon and I had talked about it on the phone last week, or a couple of days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, and was it Saturday? He sent me this image, and I'm like, wasn't what we talked about, but I looked at it and I just started chuckling to myself, because I was like, this is freaking brilliant. It's not what we talked about, but I love it. And then he sends a message and says that he's going to add something else to it, and I was like, oh, now I like it even better. So
yeah, I have a weird tendency, and I mean it can equal me doing twice the amount of artwork, but sometimes like we'll have discussed something and I start plotting and planning it, and then it just takes on a life of its own. Something comes into my mind that I'm like, oh, this feels like this other thing. So why not try to let that echo and reflect? And one of the things that the image that I sent over, because we had talked about the general concept for it, and then as I was drawing it, I was like, man, I was thinking about the poster that you just showed. I was thinking about the concept for the original cover that we were talked about. And I just started going like, you know what would feel really cool is something that felt like an ad. Because it's this postcard we're making, but the image feels like an ad for an independent comic book from the 80s. Yeah. And so I'm hitting and checking all of these boxes, but it also reflects the VHS covers of like horror films that you would see at that time as well. So now I'm trying to sort of bridge all these fun areas to play in with the styles of art that we're doing, still keeping it my work, but there's a lot of screen tone in the image that I sent over versus an ink wash, because we did ink wash for the books and I wanted something that was maybe a little bit different for this extra incentive. But yeah.
You know what's funny when I think about it, and I was thinking about it while you were just talking about it, is the boot, it reminds me of the Crow.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So that's good.
Got it.
There it is.
Bang.
Got it. Poor Wally if he would have gotten that boot instead. I get what you guys are saying, but I'm sorry. Anything coming out of a boot instantly reminds me of Wally. That ain't a plant, though.
It is not a plant.
It is not a plant. You are correct.
That is creepy, and that is actually one of the incentives that you guys have going on.
Yes.
Nice.
It's one of the postcards. Yeah.
So if you want creepy, not really Wally boot, and I'm sorry, I'm focusing on the boot. I didn't even look at all the different eyes.
Yes. And
I like glowing eyes. I can't help it. That's like
the English on the back of it's going to be pretty funny too, and you have to pay attention. There's an Easter egg or two on the English on the back. So I think I told you about it, Eamon.
Yeah.
One of them. Yeah. So we'll see how many people notice it and bring it up at conventions and stuff. So yeah, that's fun. I like sticking in little stuff like that to see if anybody notices.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
I think
and especially, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, especially with the audience, horror fans love Easter eggs. We love digging through stuff and being like, "Oh, that's totally an homage to this other thing," and like,
yeah.
So.
And and go.
No, it's just that I think for me, writing horror it's fun. Writing kid stuff is fun because it's cute and it's sweet and it's innocent and it's pure. But ironically, I get a kick out of writing horror stuff for stuff like this, because we can just drop, especially Eamon and I, we have this simpatico thing going on where our parallel lines of thought a lot. So, we're kind of vibe off of each other and just throw little things in there. And I came up with something new, Eamon, for the back of the card as well. So
excellent.
I'll tell you about that. But yeah, it's neat. It's fun. So I enjoy that I enjoy that as much as all the fun stuff after the work's been done,
Yeah.
adding all the extras and stuff. It's just a lot of fun.
But even doing the work, and I was talking about this the other day when I was at the shop, just like with one of my clients, and I was tattooing, and they're like, so when you go home, you just must not like do any art at all. And I was like, no, like every moment of my day is filled with some form of art. And they're like, oh, that's gotta be tiring. And I'm like, yeah, but it recharges my battery. Like it's self-replenishing energy completely. I finish it and then I'm like, and even if because I mean, we're our own worst critics usually.
Energy.
Yeah, I definitely could have used that. I think I sent over the final draft of that postcard at like 3:30 last night or this morning. So I definitely need some of that.
Yeah. Funny story is I have a really hard time, and this is the only energy drink that I can drink that doesn't give me really bad aftertaste in my mouth. And so we went to, and I only go to the store every 2 to maybe 3 weeks, and they didn't have any boxes of it. And I went, Mom, we're going to be broke. She's like, why? I was like, they don't have any boxes. It's all loose. And I took the card and went like this. We get in line, and Mom goes, there's 3 more in the fridge. Mine. It's so hard to find it. It's so hard. And even though you think, oh, well, all she does is sit around and play video games and podcast all day. It's exhausting. It really is. Because you're having to pay attention to so much. And it's like, give me.
And I mean, like anytime you're conversing, creating, like this is all like soul taking stuff. Like this is all that energy that you put out. It's not regular like expended energy. It's deep like cathartic human energy and
it's not free.
Yeah, no. And it does, I mean, like it does replenish, but it's definitely like there are days that I get done and it's never like, oh, I don't want to draw. It's like, oh, I don't want to be around a bunch of people right now because I don't have the energy. I'd rather just go home and sit at the table.
You know, it's amazing because you could sit here all day drawing or writing a script or podcasting or live streaming a game or whatever it is, and people don't realize that it still is exhausting. And because it is our jobs and we take it so professionally, when we're done, we're like, okay, now I just want to lay on the couch.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I want to do. Because and I don't know about you guys, but I kind of sit more in a professional manner. So when I'm at the desk and I'm doing something versus if I was just sitting here watching a video, I would probably do something like this. But instead, I'm here, I'm focusing on my posture and things like that.
I should be. I'm full on like leaning on my drafting table at an angle.
You're probably like this, but you're still focusing on the angle that you're in.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm somewhere in between.
Rodney's like, it depends on where the ice pack is, will depend on what my position is.
I just took it out because I realized I've been back there for 40 minutes, and it's only supposed to be back to 25 minutes. 25 on, 45 off.
But I wanted to say something real quickly about that postcard. The sky is so angry.
Oh yeah.
It's so angry. It's that kind of like, I look at the sky and it reminds me of like the lightning storm right during Child's Play when he's about to put his soul into the doll.
Oh,
you know? And
I love a good lightning storm.
And I really do appreciate the fact that all the eyes are different.
It's one of those. So I have this thing. Like I created this piece entirely digitally, which is not my normal MO. But when I have a shorter deadline, I try to find a way to make it look like I didn't, but still accomplish what I wanted. But it's a bit of self-flagellation to like make sure that I do that stuff where I'm like, I refuse to copy this and paste this. Like if I'm taking this shortcut of doing it digitally anyway, which is no dig on that, it's just a weird hang up in my own brain. I'm like, well, then you're going to do every one of these steps the way you would if it were not digital. So that's a weird thing, but it's just how I am. Like,
I appreciate it because, a lot of people be like, okay, eyes, they're all the same. All the shadow eyes are exactly the same. And if you look closely, you'll notice there's eyes that have slits in them. They're different shapes, sizes. And
there's some tone scraping on some. There's some glow on others. They're all different.
So, kudos. It's really well done. I like it a lot. So with the Kickstarter coming out, obviously the Kickstarter, you got some incentives, you got some stuff, but the point of the Kickstarter is to get the comic out.
Correct.
Yes.
So obviously you're gonna have a bunch of different rewards going on. Do you happen to know? I know Tina. That would be Rodney's wife, even though she has a different last name. But her last name's really Fyke. Just don't worry about it. We call her the Squinter. Have you ever been squinted by Tina, Eamon? It's the best.
Oh yeah.
That is the greatest horror story you could probably ever write. Squinter.
It's the moment that you know that you just said something that was incredibly suspect and probably a little bullshit. And she just sort of was like, is it though? And you're like, you're right.
Trust us, when she squints, you pee and poop yourself a little bit. See, just talking about it scared Eamon's camera.
Yeah, it just fell right off.
Tried to run away.
But I know that you've had some hand in it too. Do you know any of the rewards? Because obviously at this time it's not up, so people can't see the rewards that are going on.
I have I don't know what they want to talk about. So I have something.
I'm like, yes, you. Like, you can see that.
Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
I have I don't know how many we're doing of them. I think 3 or 4. But we got original pages that I don't know where my camera is. There we go.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. Over. Right there.
It's because I'm using my phone. I have no idea where that. Oh, there it is. Gotcha. And then same deal.
Okay.
But yeah, we have original pages as rewards for one of the tiers. We're doing some commissions as well. Both Rodney and I, right? Rodney, you're
yes,
doing
correct.
some. Yeah. So we've got you'll be able to get some original art in multiple sizes as far as like the pages or the commissions. We got what else we got going on for rewards?
I know the postcards that's an incentive or a reward.
It's a reward, and then we have stickers, bumper stickers.
That's right.
We have a limited edition black and white cover.
Ooh.
Question. Yes.
I got a question.
Amanda in the front row.
I heard something about these stickers.
Yes.
What they look like?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Oh.
Come on, you got to tell them. Because they're so awesomely ew.
Well, there might be some squished animals in there.
Yeah.
There might be some might be some logos in there. Do what?
So Kentucky Fried Dinner?
Could be, yeah. Could be a little roadkill stickerage going on. Yeah. Yeah, it's all very very fun stuff. And as far as the commissions go too, just to touch on it, that they don't have to be Roadkill Rampage related commissions.
Yeah.
Or any whatever you choose. So yes. Just so that's out there.
Because Eamon, you said you're doing something, Ronnie, you're doing something. I believe Sean's doing something as well.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Sean's gonna do that's part of the stretch goals, I believe.
Okay.
Sean's doing a pinup. I believe Adam Fields has agreed to do a pinup.
Oh, heck yeah.
Luke Stone, who is a friend of ours, does hybrids. He is also on board for doing a pinup. And I talked to another friend of mine that I've known for 30 years, and Amanda, you have been working with him the last couple of days, about doing a pinup as well.
Okay.
So That's not finalized, but it's in the works. But yeah, so there will be plenty of really awesome Roadkill Rampage pinup work available. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff.
So there's a lot of obviously rewards. Obviously going everything from hey, just donate something to look at all the different types of cool stuff you could get depending on how much you it's not donate, it's whatever. Is it donate? I don't know. I can't remember.
It's a donate. I think or pledge. It's a pledge.
Pledge. You can see I have not been on Kickstarter in a long time. Now, is there anything that anybody needs to be worried about? Like, a lot of people, they do get worried that, they'll pledge it and the product will never get finished.
No, because issue 1 is completely done.
This is done. Yeah.
The script for issue 2 is completely done. And I am thumbnailing that as we speak. And Eamon and I are going to have a play date probably sometime next week.
Heck
to go over the thumbnails, and then he will be hopping on that and splitting his time between his book, Arcana Vaquero, and Roadkill Rampage issue 2. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Issue 2 will be in production very soon. Issue 1 is in the can.
Yeah, by the time that
So let's
the Kickstarter wraps up for issue 1. Issue 2 is going to be going.
Yeah. Yes.
So we can go from back-to-back Kickstarters for issue 1, then issue 2. Yeah. There's the rest of your life, Rodney.
Yeah. And I'm actually writing issue 3 right now, so I took a break from writing issue 3 to thumbnail out issue 2. So. And Eamon, the scene where I was telling you about Tess, how she wakes up, that's gotten even more gruesome.
Spoilers. We now know Tess is still awake.
Well,
Spoilers.
It could be a dream. It could be a flashback sequence.
Yeah. There's no timeline.
Remember before when I said I liked Easter eggs and I liked the
I know. Just don't do that whole, it was all just a dream. No. That would be the end of you.
Bobby Ewing just got out of the shower. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Knowing you, Rodney, you would have some like moose or something doing it. Coming out of the shower with like towels on its antlers as she's waking up going, oh, please tell me this is a dream instead. No. No. That would be ew. The moose walks out of my shower.
Nobody told me Ace had a twin brother. What? Wait, what? What?
Just so you all know. Squirrels is squinting. I'm sorry. Don't squint at me.
You have been squinted.
You've got to put something in the comics that has it squinting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't tell Tina I said that, even though she's watching, obviously.
She's watching right now. Tina, I had no part in this. I want you to know.
I'm in so much trouble.
You've done it now.
Well, what can I say? But of course, with the Kickstarter, do you know what time? Tina, what time tomorrow does it start?
7
p.m.
tomorrow.
PM. Yeah. Okay.
7 p.m. and we will be on. We will be on at that time to kick it off and talk about it and just shoot it off with we might have some fireworks and some Roman candles or what? I don't know.
I'll throw confetti in the air.
Yes.
Oh, yes, please. Yes. Can we have one? I want one.
We've already talked about squirrel double exclamation point shirts. Hey, Mom, you know about the squirrel, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm seeing this already. A squinting squirrel on the front with the Hazzum Production logo on the back. Do it. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's
7
fantastic.
p.m. and we will be live.
I gotta have one now. Oh my gosh! Like I can't focus on anything else but that shirt.
Well,
That's the next incentive. It's a Roadkill Rampage squirrel squinting with the Hazzum Production logo on the back. That's the incentive for the second Kickstarter for issue 2.
there you go.
It's done. It's over. It has to happen because I said so. Because I will go. Everybody right now. I need this shirt, and everybody, you still have to go ahead and do the first one too. Why? Because this comic is absolutely beautiful. The artwork is amazing. Rodney, his vision just really came to life thanks to Eamon being able to really draw out some of this stuff.
I just got to draw the fun stuff. Like, I mean, the hard work, and I'm not trying to like downplay what I do, but like creating a story is tough. Building that world is tough. And I, in general, and I try to do this with Lish too on our book, is like we need to champion writers. They're doing the hard stuff, and I get to play in that world, and it can be frustrating, but it's like if without Rodney, none of this happens. So
Rodney,
big ups to him.
you're a champion.
Warm fuzzies.
Yeah.
well, thank you. And to answer that, I will say that there is nothing more rewarding than getting artwork from an artist that you're collaborating with and seeing what's in your head in a tangible form. Because I've worked with enough artists that cantankerously refuse to draw what I'm writing for whatever reason, ego or whatever, and it's just frustrating because it's not what you wrote. So now you have to rewrite it, so it's not your true vision. And we have not, knock on wood, we have not had that problem. Everything that I see from Eamon is just lights out, and even the artwork for the postcard, it's not what we talked about, but it just hits on all the buttons, and it's beautiful. And then the copy that I came up with for the back of it is just
I'm excited to see.
yes. So.
Well, and Eamon, I want to say thank you too, because trust me, I've listened to Rodney's horror stories. Like he's had to put me in a collar, put a leash on me to stop me from attacking people because I'm just like, I'm gonna get them, and he's like, no, sit, stay. So just being able to hear the way how not only do you two get along real well, but you guys are collaborating real well. And I love the fact that you feel like you can do some changes and send them to Rodney and see what he thinks.
It's early on, so I encountered this with Lish a lot when we're doing Arcana. It's a habit, and I try to work against it, but it's also this like I have this voice when I'm drawing, and it's like, do this thing, and I'm like, I know, but it calls for this, and the other voice is like, no, gamble, do this thing, and if they don't like it, all you have to do is redraw, and if they do like it, then you've given them something beyond what they asked for, and you don't.
Yeah,
it's like,
and we've had the discussion. Like I said before, it's not a roadmap; it's a guide. He has freedom to bring his vision to it as well. And if he's not sure about something, what do I tell you? Call me.
Yeah.
We'll talk it out. It's nothing's chiseled in stone. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. It's one of those things I don't ever feel like I've worked with people before where like they call me and I'm like, oh, I see it on the phone, and I'm just like, I don't want to answer this. But I never had that problem. Like I know that whatever we're going to be talking about is just going to be a conversation to like figure out either why I did something that was completely out of left field, or like I appreciate what you did. Maybe if we do this and this in addition, this will be more complete, and then we're done and ready to go.
Yeah.
It's rad. I love working with Rodney.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a great partnership, and I love working with Eamon too for all the same reasons. It's just it works, and when you find that, and I've been doing this for 30 years, and that's rare. So
That's almost
I'm
as
very
old
happy.
as I am. That's old. So, of course, guys, if you are interested in this Kickstarter, which I know you are, this link's going to be really long because it's still in project phase because it hasn't gone live yet. But you can go here, and you go there, and you can actually click on something in there that says to remind me when this project goes live. And it'll send you an email going, hey, this Kickstarter project has gone live if you want to go ahead and make your pledges. Of course, if for some reason the link doesn't work, you can always go to Kickstarter and either type in Roadkill Rampage or Hazzum Productions, and it'll come up as well. So you'll be able to find it 2 ways. And of course, with all of that, if that's still too difficult for you, gentlemen, starting with Eamon, where can they find you on social media?
At Eamon Hill Tattoos or at Pigbone Comics on Instagram. I'm currently, I have reactivated for the podcast, but I'll be off again for a while. It's just better for me. I get more done. But Instagram, you can always reach out to me.
Yeah, he's hiding from Facebook. And then, Rodney, would you like to go through your list of everywhere you are?
What time is it? No. Well, I'm at Hazzum.com, Hazzum.com. The Art of Rodney Fyke on Facebook. That's Fyke. And I am also on Instagram at Rodney_Fyke on the gram. And just my regular Facebook page, Rodney Fyke. And wherever else I appear.
Okay, so I'm going to help because I cheat. He's at his personal Facebook page, Rodney Fyke. His Instagram page is Rodney Fyke. The company that is producing Roadkill Rampage is Hazzum Productions on Instagram. If you want to check out a lot of Rodney's artwork, including some of his amazing sketch cards that he has for sale, you can find that on Facebook at The Art of Rodney Fyke. You can also find Hazzum Productions over on Facebook, where you can find more information about Roadkill Rampage. You can also follow Rodney on Twitter.
Oh, you got a Twitter?
Oh, he has a Twitter.
Right. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
You can also follow Hazzum Productions on Twitter. That's a brand new account, so they're definitely willing to go, come follow us, please. I follow them. You should follow them too.
We're
and then, of course,
like wild mushrooms, y'all.
There you go.
So, needless to say, he's on the 3 major social platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can try Rodney Fyke or Hazzum Productions. Obviously, Hazzum Productions has more information on Roadkill Rampage, since it's the company that it's from. It's the company that Rodney owns and works at. So it's the hub of everything. But if you want to talk to Rodney himself, you can find him too. And like Eamon said, you can find him over on Instagram. He's the tattoo guy. And he has Pigbone Comics, which is probably the reason why Rodney picked him for a comic called Roadkill Rampage with a place called Pigbone Comics.
Great, now we got to kill a pig.
Oh, no. Okay.
See, depending on where this goes, you could do a boar, which is a pig, and you can have some fun with it. I'm just saying.
Boars are terrifying. They live in
the woods.
Also coming, this is not to do with this Kickstarter coming up, but since we're talking pigs right now, in Chapter 2 of Arcana, which will be out from Hazzum, I definitely have a dude getting eaten by some pigs. So look for that.
Ooh. All right, guys. Well, you guys got a Kickstarter that starts in 24, 25, 26 hours.
Yes.
Heck
So
yeah.
I suggest you get some sleep while you can. And of course, guys, thank you so much for joining. I've had so much fun. Again, Rodney, I am so excited for this story. I realize that I have a little bit more insight than most people because you guys keep sending me stuff and I get to take a look at it. But it's so amazing. It's so cool. And Eamon, the artwork is gorgeous. And man,
thank you.
those stickers, ew, I so gotta have those. Oh my god, they're so gross. And I have to have them. But and of course everybody here, of course don't forget you can follow AGP. To catch all of our live stuff, it's right here on Twitch. You can subscribe. If you're a subscriber, you're going to be able to get emotes. You can watch the shows absolutely with no interference from commercials or ads. And of course, we got badges coming. They're so cute. So definitely check that out. And thanks, everybody. And we'll see you all. Well, what's funny is Rodney and Eamon will be doing something at 7, and I highly suggest. I hate to take away my own viewership, but go ahead and watch them. And I might be sending people your guys' way because tomorrow night's the AGP Crew podcast, so I might have to start sending people towards you guys while we're doing it too.
Yeah,
awesome. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, well, good luck. Get some rest. You're going to need it because you're going to have a fun-filled day when 7 o'clock. Well, your day's going to start early because you're going to be like, oh, my God, it's almost time. Do we have
Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It was a blast.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.